President Donald Trump sues the British Broadcasting Corporation for $10 billion. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene sets her feud with the Republican Party aside to get one last bill passed before she resigns. And the FBI thwarts a potential terrorist attack, arresting 4 members of a Marxist and Pro-Palestinian organization in California. I'm Tony Kinnett, host of the Daily Signal's Tony Kinnett Cast, syndicated nationally at 7 p.m. Eastern. It is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. This is the Daily Signal's top news in 10. Yesterday, the President of the United States announced he would be suing the British Broadcasting Corporation, or BBC, for $10 billion due to a series of defamation claims, including the malicious editing of a particular Donald Trump speech given on January 6, 2021, suggesting that the president had incited a riot at the Capitol. Here's the clip, edited and unedited.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
The president confirmed he would be filing the lawsuit yesterday with a few additional statements.
In a little while, you'll be seeing I'm suing the BBC for putting words in my mouth. Literally, they put words in my mouth. They had me saying things that I never said coming out. I guess they used AI or something. So we'll be bringing that lawsuit. A lot of people are asking, when are you bringing that lawsuit? Even the media can't believe that one. They actually put terrible words in my mouth having to do with January 6th that I didn't say. And the beautiful words that I said, right? The beautiful words, talking about patriotism and all of the good things that I said, they didn't say that, but they put terrible words. They actually have me speaking with words that I never said, and they got caught because I believe somebody at BBC said, this is so bad, it has to be reported. That's called fake news. So we'll be filing that suit probably this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
Meanwhile, Marjorie Taylor Greene, representative from Georgia, is putting aside her feud with the Republican Party and President Trump for the last few days of her time in office before she resigns on January 5th, 2026. The House of Representatives is set to vote on a bill from Representative Greene designed to protect children nationally from transgender procedures that disrupt children's biology and development. Greene's legislation, according to the Daily Signal's Jacob Adams, called the Protect Children's Innocence Act, would make it a felony to perform surgery, administer medication, or provide other procedures to a child for the purpose of changing his or her body to correspond to a sex different from his or her biological sex. The penalty for committing such a crime would be up to 10 years in federal prison and or a fine. When Greene announced her resignation, this left many in the country wondering if this legislation would end up seeing the light of day. And though the President of the United States had already issued an executive order banning the practice of transgender and hormonal medication and procedures for children, this is something that would need to be codified into law by the United States Congress, passing a measure for this to continue after the president's term has expired. Greene had previously suggested that she was not going to get this particular bill through because the House was not going to vote on it in time. But according to a tweet from her own X account, Greene alleges that Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and she made a deal and changed her no vote on the National Defense Authorization Act funding the United States military and governing the budget and expenditures in general for national defense to a yes. Quote, I made a deal and changed my no vote on the rule to a yes in exchange for a floor vote next week on my bill that is one of President Trump's key campaign promises and executive orders. Leaders Mike Johnson and Steve Scalise have promised me that my bill, Protect Children's Innocence Act, H.R. 3942, will be brought to the floor for a vote next Wednesday, December 17th. This would make it a Class C felony to trans a child under the age of 18. Every Republican campaigned to protect kids from the trans agenda. While some on the left have suggested that a particular bill like this would be unconstitutional, the Supreme Court has previously ruled that state bans on transgender procedures for minors could be upheld, such as when the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 in favor of Tennessee's ban on transgender surgeries on June 18th. Meanwhile, the Federal Bureau of Investigation has announced it thwarted a serious potential terror attack and arrested 4 individuals on a major operation over the weekend. Audrey Eileen Carroll, Zachary Aaron Page, Dante Gaffield, and Tina Lai were arrested around December 12th in Lucerne Valley, California, where investigators believe that they were preparing to test explosive devices ahead of the planned attacks. According to Attorney General Pam Bondi, those arrested planned to attack targets in Orange County and Los Angeles. These targets included Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents and vehicles. Audrey Eileen Carroll gave an 8-page handwritten document titled, quote, Operation Midnight Sun, end quote, that detailed the bombing plot to a law enforcement source. These individuals arrested are part of a domestic terror organization called Turtle Island, a pro-Palestinian Marxist leftist conglomerate group that has announced earlier actions and intentions of violence. One member of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, going by the name of Mary, made it clear in a video she uploaded to social media that reclaiming American land from colonizers is one of the key goals of the Turtle Island Domestic Terror Organization.
Look at the map, rather from the top down, but the bottom up. You flip that map of the Americas, it looks like a turtle. And so that's what the natives called it, was Turtle Island. So that's the decolonized name of the Americas. And Turtle Island Liberation Front is looking for reparations and land back for these indigenous groups in which the land was usurped. Many people think it's so far removed, but I have many comrades who are Native American and have stories of just their great-grandmother being put in residential schools. It's still impacting the most recent generations. It's not as removed as people think it is.
According to an updated statement late yesterday morning, FBI Director Kash Patel said, quote, the subjects self-identified as members of a radical offshoot of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, an extremist group motivated by pro-Palestinian, anti-law enforcement, and anti-government ideology. They were allegedly planning coordinated IED bombing attacks on New Year's Eve, targeting 5 separate locations across Los Angeles. In the days since, FBI New Orleans branch arrested an additional 5th individual believed to be linked to this radical TILF subgroup, also allegedly planning a separate violent attack. As a reminder to our viewers and listeners, on New Year's Day, January 1st, 2025, 42-year-old Shamsud Zin Jabbar drove his vehicle through a New Orleans New Year's celebration, killing at least 15 and wounding more than 24 others. In the back of his vehicle were also improvised explosive devices. Here's a summary of the information from the FBI Los Angeles press conference yesterday afternoon.
The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force intercepted a scheme by members of a violent extremist group we believed determined to detonate explosives at multiple businesses on New Year's Eve. Last Friday, the FBI arrested 4 of those subjects. The 4 subjects are members of a radical faction of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, a violent, homegrown anti-government group. The subject arrested envisioned planting backpacks with improvised explosive devices to be detonated at multiple locations in Southern California. These bombs were to blow up at the same time on midnight this New Year's Eve. The plan stated that the IEDs would be complex pipe bombs. It included instructions on how to manufacture the bombs, and contained guidance on how to avoid leaving evidence behind that could be traced back to them. Our investigation uncovered evidence in that the group would test the explosives in the desert. We learned that the alleged co-conspirators had recently started acquiring precursor chemicals and other items necessary to accomplish this task. In recent days, the alleged co-conspirators discussed plans to travel to the desert on the 12th to detonate the explosive. Knowing this, staged multiple SWAT teams, special agent bomb technicians, our evidence response team, along with the FBI's elite hostage rescue team, to disrupt this plan before any harm could occur.
Before you go, head down to the description and make sure you're subscribed to the Tony Kinnett Cast. And join us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern for a roundup of the day's news and nonsense. I'm Tony Kinnett, and this has been the Daily Signal's top news in 10. Take care.